And today on Public Eye News, a Michigan District Court scales back oversight of the health department's child welfare system, and later Kansas City and San Francisco booked their flights to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Our very own forecaster, Ava Sahoyan, will have a look at your warming weather conditions across the Upper Peninsula, and I'll have your weekend sports breakdown. I'm Luke Niddle.
And I'm Susanna Gwynn, and this is Public Eye News. Starting off, a judge from the U.S. District Court in Lansing has approved an order that greatly reduces the number of requirements that the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, or MDHHS, must achieve to be relieved of federal oversight in the state's child welfare system. The order removes more than 30 provisions or requirements, down from the original 74 provisions in the agreement. The department stresses the importance of child welfare and that it will continue to keep children safe and encourage relative placements. The MDHHS has said that the change has come as a result of decreasing numbers of children in foster care homes and exceeding standards for worker caseloads. This brings the Great Lakes state closer to ending in almost 2 decades of court supervision and now allows for more resources to go towards benefiting children directly instead of keeping up with court requirements. And disappointing news for avid anglers out there, the Heike-Lunta 2024 Teal Lake Ice Fishing Derby has been postponed. Officials cited poor ice conditions after an unseasonably warm start to winter as the reason for the cancellation. The SSFA Tournament Committee, which holds the fishing derby every year, has stated that after speaking with local law enforcement and the city of Negaunee, they're unsure if the event will be held at all this year. An ice report released by the South Shore Fishing Association cited that although there were areas of good ice of 6 to 8 inches in thickness, most of the lake had spotty ice or slush. Officials encourage that if you do choose to ice fish, please be informed of the current conditions and make sure you know the conditions of the ice before you trek out onto any lakes.
A Waukesha woman is appealing for release from an assigned mental institution once again nearly 10 years after she attacked a classmate. Morgan Geyser, 21, pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide in 2014 after she and Anissa Wire stabbed fellow classmate Peyton Leitner 19 times. The girls claimed the attack was to please Slender Man, an internet horror character, in order to protect their families from him. Geyser previously requested release from the Winnebago Mental Health Institute in 2022, but withdrew the claim just 2 months after filing. Lake Superior State University has announced the installation of a micro X-ray fluorescence spectrometer as a component of the newly established Microanalysis and Spectroscopic Characterization Lab. The spectrometer will be used as an analysis tool for plant uptake of nutrients and heavy metals. The lab will also serve as a dedicated research center on campus, providing students and faculty with resources to better understand the microscopic world. Lake Superior State will now be one of the leading laboratories in the upper Midwest for this type of research. The faculty of the College of Arts and Sciences has greatly increased funding, raising nearly $5 million of outside research funding over the past 5 years. An open house will be held on February 2nd in Crawford Hall from 12 to 4 p.m. And the St. Paul Winter Carnival will be at the whims of Mother Nature this year. Marielle Maas has the report.
It's always a crapshoot, I guess, for the weather. Last year was a little too cold for us. This year it's obviously too warm.
Chad Peterson can sculpt ice in every kind of weather after participating in the St. Paul Winter Carnival for the last 20 years. So he's sculpting differently to make sure nothing breaks off.
With the warm weather, that's not going to hang there. I can't get that to freeze. So that basically all the weight has to get distributed in a vertical manner, right? Because I can't hang in, nothing will freeze.
Winter Carnival staff dismantled part of this ice throne because it was melting and wanted to avoid anyone getting hurt.
It's a little different with the ice sculptures and the snow sculptures not being able to hold up as well, but things are still happening.
Here at Lake of the Isles, their warming house and hockey rink were closed down after only 5 days of being open this season because of these warmer temperatures. And neighbors are disappointed to see annual events being impacted.
We got an email on Friday, like 10 a.m. and it was saying like, hey, we have to cancel the event because of the conditions of the ice.
The annual ice skating party on Lake of the Isles was shut down, along with all the outdoor rinks in Minneapolis.
It's kind of just not safe enough to go ice skating.
The neighborhood association moved the party to land, still serving up hot chocolate and treats.
People are enjoying themselves. They're saying hi to their neighbors, who they might normally only see in the summertime.
I think that that we could still get together and stuff. That was good, even though we can't skate around.
In Minneapolis, Marielle Mose, WCCO News.
And don't touch that dial. Ava will be right back with your forecast for the approaching weekend and the upcoming thaw after this break.
I would like to paint the town. I would like to see murals everywhere.
Murals are brightening Austin, celebrating people, honoring histories, transforming spaces.
Art is not just about making pleasing visuals, it's about making people think.
Dive into Austin's vibrant murals and meet the artists and organizers behind them on Muraling Austin.
Monday night at 11:30.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Ava Sahoyan with your weather update for the day. Taking a look at our roof cam, you can see we've lost quite a bit of snow on campus, but thankfully we're starting to see a lot more sun. Hopefully we're going to see as beautiful of a sunset as we saw as a sunrise this morning. Looking across the Upper Peninsula, we've got lots of cloudy skies. Starting in Houghton, it is 38 degrees and raining. Down in Ironwood, it is 35 degrees. Iron Mountain, it is 37 degrees and sunny. In Menominee, it is 32 degrees. In Escanaba, it is 31. And moving over to the eastern side, starting in Manistique, it is 32 degrees and foggy. In Sault Ste. Marie, it is 35 degrees and cloudy. And in beautiful Marquette, it is 42 degrees and partly cloudy. Looking further into current conditions, we've got winds out of south-southwest at 10 miles an hour and a barometric pressure of 29.86 inches and falling. Moving into tonight, we're going to expect to see some more cloudy skies, a low of 35, and winds out of the south-southwest at 4 miles an hour. Tomorrow we're going to see some more cloudy skies with some snow showers in the morning, a high of 35, a low of 30, and winds out of the north at 13 miles an hour. Looking further into this week, starting on Wednesday, we're going to see a little more sun, a high of 46 and a low of 34. On Thursday, we're going to see more cloudy skies, a high of 37 and a low of 22. And on Friday, we're going to hopefully see a lot more sun, a high of 35 and a low of 25. That's all I've got for your weather update. Back to the desk for national news.
Thank you so much for that weather report, Ava. Now back to some news. And shifting across the world to southern Jordan, a relatively unknown military outpost named Tower 22 has garnered international outcry after a drone attack injured at least 30 and killed 3 American troops there on Sunday. Although the base does sit in a demilitarized zone, the Iraqi border is a mere 6 miles away. The area surrounding the base is known as Rukban, which at one time was the location of a refugee camp during the rise of an Islamic State group in 2014. At its height, more than 100,000 people live there, which has dwindled to a meager 8,000 due to lack of supplies. U.S. troops have since used the site as a basing point, with typically more than 3,000 troops stationed across Jordan at any given time. And across the country, legislative efforts in the American South are trying to block voters from having a say over abortion rights. In Missouri and Mississippi, abortion rights advocates claim that efforts by Republican lawmakers are trying to undercut the democracy meant to give voters a say in forming laws at the state level. A proposal passed on Wednesday by officials in Mississippi would ban residents from putting abortion issues on the statewide ballot. The proposal comes just one day after a Missouri abortion rights campaign began its own efforts to place abortion rights into the state constitution. And Valentine's Day is just a couple of weeks away. As it turns out, many couples are being unfaithful when it comes to money. Kristen Lazar explains.
How long have you guys been together?
11 years.
12 years.
12 years. Oops.
Married couple Ted Toussaint and Hillary Reynolds may not be on the same page about everything, but they are when it comes to money. Are you always honest about your finances with your spouse?
Yes, I am actually. We both are. We've had to be really transparent.
A new survey reveals that's not the case for many couples.
We found that 42% of people who are currently married or living with their romantic partner have kept a financial secret from that person.
Ted Rossman from Bankrate says 30% admit spending more than their spouse or partner would approve of. 19% said they have a secret savings account, and 18% acknowledged having a secret credit card. Gen Zers are most likely to commit financial infidelity, followed by more than half of millennials. The numbers are lower for Gen Xers and baby boomers.
I think also the fact that people are getting married later is leading people to get more entrenched in their habits, and especially in two-income couples.
Rossman says honesty is the best policy.
I think you do need to manage money collectively, but you could each carve out a little bit of money from every paycheck that's yours and yours alone, as long as you've agreed on those parameters.
Rossman also recommends couples sit down regularly and go over the finances to make sure there are no surprises. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And wait right there. After this short break, I'll have a sports breakdown you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
So climate gentrification is happening, and Miami is being affected in the worst way.
There's a change coming to this area.
They're going to come take Liberty City because we don't flood.
All the people that are planning this don't live in this community.
Liberty Square is the heart. And when you destroy the heart, you destroy the people.
Raising Liberty Square, January 29th at 10 p.m. on PBS and the PBS app.
Welcome back to Public Eye Sports, and I'll be taking you through our weekend sports recap. The matchup for Super Bowl 58 is now set after an exciting weekend of conference championships. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking to become the first back-to-back Super Bowl winners since the New England Patriots achieved it in the 2003 and 2004 seasons. The Chiefs upset the number 1 seeded Ravens in Baltimore 17-10 during a tightly contested game. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers will make their second Super Bowl appearance in 4 years after a collapse by the Detroit Lions in the second half allowed the Niners to rally to a 34-31 win. These two teams have crossed paths before, as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have faced off against the 49ers in the 2020 Super Bowl. The Wildcats' Alpine skiing team has continued their dominance on the slopes, with the men's team claiming the top 2 spots, and the women's team completing a total sweep of the podium. Aaron Grislak took the top spot, with Brad Seaborg grabbing the silver medal. Regan Ollie led the women's team with a first-place finish, with Ella Weichert and Ainsley Kirk claiming second and third. Emily Creaking and J.C. Johnson rounded out the top 5, marking a historical day for the Cats. The Wildcats will stay in Wisconsin next weekend, traveling to USC-SA Mount Lacrosse to compete on Saturday, February 3rd, and Sunday, February 4th. And sticking with the Wildcats, the men's hockey team has continued their struggles on the road, dropping Game 2 of last weekend's series against Minnesota State Mankato after skirting by Game 1 with a shootout win. After a 0-0 struggle through the first period, the Mavericks opened the floodgates in the second frame, pouncing on the Wildcats with a 3-0 lead. NMU failed to make up some lost ground in the third period as Mankato poured on another goal to make it 4-0 and shut out the Cats. NMU drops to 8-13-3 overall and 6-9-1 in TCHA play, while the Mavericks jumped to 13-9-4 with a conference record of 9-5-2. And with one more story, American Airlines has taken notice of Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs and will be changing a few flight numbers from Kansas City to Las Vegas during Super Bowl weekend. Most notably, as a reference to my personal favorite Swift album, they've changed flight number 1989 from Kansas City to Las Vegas on February 9th and 10th.
Oh my goodness, Luke. I don't know about you, but I am a total T Swift fan. I grew up listening to her music. I love all of her albums, and she's re-recorded a bunch of stuff, and it's made her even more popular, so I'm a total fan. What about you?
I may not be the biggest fan of Taylor Swift, but I can appreciate some good music when I see it.
Oh, absolutely. I think she's a marketing genius, too. It's brought all kinds of crazy rating numbers to the NFL, and I just think she is amazing, her and Travis Kelce.
Absolutely. Her impact on the NFL and some viewership spikes this year can't be overstated.
I totally agree. I'm so excited to see what she does next. And that looks like all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Susanna Gwynn.
And I'm Luke Niddle.
And this has been Public Eye News. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching today's episode of Public Eye News. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube down below or follow us on Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.